Hey guys, it's Ollie from Rad Season. Welcome to another episode of the Rad Season Show. I'm super excited to be joined today by multi X Games gold medalist, Dew Tour champion, 3 times Tampa Pro winner, pro skater, Greg Lutzka. Greg, how are you, man?
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing? Thanks for having me. Stoked to be a part of this.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show, dude. How's everything going? Whereabouts are you at the moment?
It's good. I'm in Southern California. It's a beautiful day out here today. A lot different from the Midwest where I'm originally from. So going outside, it's blue skies and 70-some degrees. We're back home. It's very cold and it's winter still there. So
yeah. I saw you had a bit of an injury recently, man. On your hip. How are you feeling?
I'm good. Yeah, just, when you mess around, you lay around. I got on the mini dirt bike, having too much fun, and did a little wipeout in front of my house here. Bruised up the hip pretty good. It's not broke, so that's the good news. And then I've never did chiral therapy my whole life, all my injuries, and I just started trying this out. It's gnarly. It's like a full like ice chamber, and it's like negative 200 degrees, and I've been doing that for the last week, and I'm already like almost recovered. I mean, I'm going snowboarding tomorrow. We're gonna drive up to Big Bear tomorrow and go snowboarding. So I'm already back on my snowboard within a week and a half, and I'll probably be skating within another week or so. So it's really good.
That's crazy. And is that the first time that you've done that kind of recovery process then?
Yeah. Normally I just, I roll my ankles all the time and stuff like that. And I probably should have tried this a long time ago. Normally I just use ice and never really do something like this, but my hip was pretty bad. I mean, if you look at the photo, it was like pretty swollen, pretty bruised, and ice only goes so far. So I wanted to do something and try something that was going a little bit deeper. And man, when you get in that thing, it's like you can feel it in your bones. It's crazy. So it's definitely cold, and it definitely works really well.
And speaking of cold, man, so you're originally from Wisconsin, Milwaukee, right?
Correct.
Yeah. How was that growing up over there?
Oh, growing up in Milwaukee, it's like half the season it's winter, so it's definitely very cold. And in the summer it rains a lot. In the fall it rains a lot, and then you have summer. And in the summer it's awesome. The Midwest is awesome. There is some humidity, so it does get pretty warm. There are a lot of mosquitoes in the summer, so it's so different than here. It's like in California, the weather here, it's just always nice all year round. And as I mentioned, we're going snowboarding tomorrow, and that's an 1.5-hour drive, and then we're at winter. Like snowboarding up in the mountains, it's crazy. So, and then you come back down here and you can go surf and go skate and do all that stuff. So, but yeah, growing up in the Midwest was a lot different than obviously California. I spent a lot of times in the skate parks. They had a skate park there called Four Seasons Skateboard Park, and just would go to school and afterwards go to the park and rip all day.
And I've heard when you started off, is it true that you were on ice skates when you were about 2 years old?
Yeah. I started off playing ice hockey,
okay.
And then pretty much played since I was 2 years old to almost high school. Everything from mini mite to mite to peewee to bantam, all the way up until high school. And then some kids on my hockey team started skateboarding, and then that's where I got a skateboard. And after that, it was over. I was like, I don't really want to play hockey anymore. But actually now I do play ice hockey. I just play like a pickup league here and there. You pay like $15 and you can go, and it's right here in Lake Forest, and you just go play for 80 minutes and have some fun. And it's just fun hockey. So I still play to this day.
Nice. And like when you discovered skating back then, what did you do? Did you just ditch all the other sports? You were like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, no, I was really good at ice hockey. Like my dad wanted me to go to like college and probably become a pro ice hockey player. Like I was on AAA ice hockey, so it's like pretty much the traveling league, like top of ice hockey you can be, I guess. So yeah, no, my brother was goalie. He played on his team, and then he actually played on my team, which is I'm 3 years older than him, so he was really good too. We were pretty much grown up to be pro ice hockey players. I mean, my dad wanted us to get a scholarship and go to college and do all that, and I grabbed a skateboard and he grabbed a guitar. He's out here for music and I'm out here for skating. And we just followed our passion and kind of did our own thing,
Nice, man. And I mean, like, what did you guys do in the winter? Were there many like indoor parks back then for skating, or were you kind of just finding?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like half of like when I was growing up, when I was, I don't know, 8 or 9 or 10 years old, we didn't really have a skate park. And then think of when I was like 11, Four Seasons skate park opened up. My mom worked for the city, so she helped the owner Neil Levin get like a grant. So she helped. I don't know. The city gave Neil like a $50,000 grant to open that skate park. So Neil was really cool and let me skate there for free. So he was just stoked that my mom like helped him like push the way to get that skate park through and got a grant from the city, and it worked out for me. I was able to go there whenever I want and skate, and that's actually how I got really good at skating and met a lot of my friends throughout the years back home that skated as well.
Yeah,
was at the skate park.
And was it? Would you say it was there? Like that's when like sort of sponsor interest came on, or like where did you get your first sponsors? Was that like around the shop and stuff?
Like yeah, like in the Midwest, they had like skate contests for sure. Like Four Seasons had some, and then Janesville, Wisconsin, they had one. And I started skating those contests locally, right? And then from there, I think I won some of those at one point. And then from there, we went to Tampa Am. And the first year at Tampa Am, like I won the worst fall award. I was just like, just so nervous and like, just ate shit on one of the rails and, came back like, wow, there's some good skaters out there. You know what I mean? Like it was like a whole different level of talent. Came back to Wisconsin and then just skated like that whole year, like super hard. And then went back to Tampa the next year. I think I was like 15 and, made like finals or something like that. And then Al Parton and I met down there and he helped me get on Millennium skateboards and we went on tour. And next thing you know, my career kind of started from there. I met other skaters on the team that rode for Globe that got me on Globe and Bones Wheels. Mike Peterson helped me out with that. Before that, I was sponsored by like a little local shop in Milwaukee called Phase 2. And then also Beer City Skateboards sponsored me and gave me boards. And they were originally my first sponsor.
Nice one, man. And like I guess back then when you were a teenager, were you thinking like, this could potentially lead somewhere?
Yeah.
You could take skating.
I wanted to be a pro skateboarder for sure. Like growing up, that was like my dream for sure. Like there's no doubt about that. And then watching all the videos, Andrew Reynolds and like a lot of the guys, Jeff Raleigh and Jamie Thomas, the guys that I looked up to, all lived out here in Southern California. So like I wanted to get out here and skate all the spots I seen in the 4-on-1 videos and all that good stuff. And then Al Parton, who I met, he brought me out here when I was like 16. I'd stay at his house in San Diego, and he originally got me into being in 4-on-1, which that was pretty cool. So I filmed a video part called Wheels of Fortune for 4-on-1, and then I met Bill Weiss, and Weiss got me in digital videos. And then, I met Dave Swift, and he got me in Trans World. And I met Mike Burnett, he got me in Thrasher magazine. And it was just like a snowball effect that, one thing led to the next.
And you were you like 18 when you thought, okay, you got to get over there and you got to be in California?
Like, yeah, I was coming out here quite a bit. After that, I'd go home and then basically want to come right back out here. So I really wasn't home that much. And then through there, like I was sponsored by Globe, and they were doing a lot of trips over to Australia. And we were just traveling a ton. In the summer, I'd go to Europe. There's a lot of skate contests out there for like the World Cup. I won that one, I think when I was like 16 or 17. So I came back, bought like a brand new BMW car, and just like was like, all right, I'm going to move to California. I think I was 17, and I moved right after Christmas and New Year's when I was 17. So I dropped out of high school, moved to California, lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with like my good friend Pat and Bunch. And like literally my bed was here, Pat's was here, and John's was like in the corner here. And then like we just made it work. Like, you got a chick come over or whatever, you like pull your mattress into like the living room area, and that'd be like your room or whatever for the night. And just we each paid like $350 for the rent. We lived in Huntington Beach. None of us really complained. We were like, the weather was amazing and we could skate every day. And that's how it all began. Is basically, we just like October, I decided, like they were a little bit older, so they were done with school and they wanted to get out of Milwaukee anyways. And I was just like, we should just move to California. And like, just like that, like, I think like 45 days later, we're moving out here and moving into the Regency Palms off Warner. So it was like, it happened so quick. And then I don't know, here I am still here. I'm 35 now, going to be 36. So figure I've been here ever since I was 17. So it's never looked back. Yeah.
And then, I mean, like, did you like with the guys, were you sort of looking at each other going, okay, we're gonna get as good as we can. We're gonna have
Yeah, no,
as
they
much fun
wanted
as we can.
yeah, they wanted to be pro skaters too. At that time, I definitely had sponsors already, and I was traveling. I was winning contests. Bunch and Pat, they're really good skateboarders for sure. It's a hard industry, and they weren't really big in contest skating, you know. And I
Mhm.
think that's what helped me out a lot was I won some of these contests, and sponsors were really stoked on that. And then on top of that, I was filming video parts. Like I filmed the almost round 3 video around that era, and when that came out, like life changed. Like being in the video with Rodney Mullen and Day One, like instantly everyone knew who I was. Like overnight, it was crazy. And then from there, I just kept like progressing my skateboarding and pushing myself to that next level. Pat ended up working like at a gas station because they needed money, so like ended up working at a gas station. John Bunch ended up working at Jamba Juice, which we used to call John Bunch Juice back then. Go to John Bunch Juice, get a smoothie or whatever. And they just got burnt out on it. I would have too, though, like working at a gas station every day, man, it would have been tough for me to stay out here too. And it's expensive out here. So they
Yeah.
ended up moving back after about 2 years. And I ended up just staying out here and just kept grinding on, the vision I had to keep this dream alive. And thank God I did, because it just kept, expanding into new opportunities.
And were there any skaters like Day One and Rodney, like, I mean, that you were like looking up to? And I mean, like, I guess back then they were mentoring you
I mean, I always was.
almost without you even knowing it. I guess you were kind of like,
Yeah, like traveling with those guys was just crazy, Haslam is a really good skateboarder. Day One's phenomenal. Rodney's one of a kind that just, legendary. So I looked at all those guys, and
yeah,
just made me want to push myself that much harder. And I knew I was going to be in a video that like was going to be a game changer, because I seen Rodney Mullen versus Day One 1 and Rodney Mullen versus Day One 2, and these videos were just insane, So I knew I had to throw down on this video part, like, and I did all the way to the end till I separated my collarbone. Actually, I still got a lump there from almost round 3. I tried to kickflip backflip the Hollywood High 16 and went down pretty hard. So I've been getting hurt my whole career. So it's one of those things, like this hip bruise is like nothing compared to what I've done in the past, So, but yeah, I gave it my all with that video part for sure, all the way until the end where I couldn't even lift my arm, like to the very end day of us being able to film for that part. Like, and I filmed that part quick. Like I'm talking like 8 months, like real quick. I've never filmed the video part that quick ever, but I was so motivated. I just came from Wisconsin where it's like snowing, and it was like game on, it was skate every single day. And whether you're sore or whatever, you just no excuse, you just get out there and you power through it. You start jumping down the stairs and your body gets rewarmed up, and go home and ice your ankles, get ready for the next day.
And can you remember, like, was there a plan where you were like, okay, we're going to go to this spot and we're going to session it all day and we're going to try and...
That's the thing, is like all these spots were new to me, so I didn't know where any of them were. Hoops, who I filmed with, he was my filmer, Michael Dolpe. He like basically just get in the car and we're just going to go to spots. He knew all the spots because he grew up out here, and I just didn't really care. I was just like, just bring me wherever, I'll skate anything, So the Hollywood rail was the one time I actually planned to go do a trick there, and I ended up just getting completely broke off. So I don't do really good with planning tricks and calling stuff out. Like, oh, I'm going to go here and do this. Never works out for me, ever, ever. Even to this day, it doesn't work out to me. So I just try to go with the flow. But definitely back then, like now I know a lot of the spots. I'm like, oh, let's just go skate this. I'll never call out what trick I want to do, even though in the back of my mind, I'll have like an idea, like, all right, I want to try this, but I'll never say it out loud. And, but back then, like I didn't know any of the spots. So I was just like, yeah, that sounds great. He's like, let's go to the Beverly Rail. What's that? He's like, oh, it's like a little line syrup. Cool. Let's go. So it's like, just get to the spot and be like, whoa, this thing's awesome. Or sometimes I'd get to the spot and be like, oh yeah, I've seen this in the video. Like I've seen this in 4-1 before, blah, 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 skated this, So yeah, that's just how it worked back then. It was just really cool because everything was so new and fresh, and just so motivated to just film, and skate.
And were you like, how did you feel about comps back then? Were you thinking like, okay, like I want to make the best video part, or were you thinking like I want to compete as well?
No, I was doing both. I wasn't even thinking about the comps that much. It's just when they came around, I would just go skate them. You know, it wasn't like I never trained for the comps. I skated the skate park so much back in Wisconsin that when I came to California, I like refused to go to skate parks because I just was always at a skate park. So I hated going. I still don't go to skate parks to this day out here. Like there's great skate parks out here. I don't know. I still don't even go to them. Like I don't like going to skate parks because I grew up skating it all the time. I was always at the skate park growing up as a kid. So like when I came out here and it was good weather and I was like, I just want to be outside and skate street. And then when I go to the contest, I just kind of would just adapt my skateboarding to what I did back home in the skate park. It's a new course and just kind of adapt, you know, I would never really go to practice. I'm weird like that. I just show up and just rip, just go skate, you know, like it was the average other day. And I think that's some of the reason why I did so well in those contests. I never overthought it. And sometimes it was just whatever I was feeling. Like if I felt like going to practice and skating for an hour, I would do it. If I didn't feel like skating practice, I wouldn't even do it. I just show up at the comp. And I think that actually worked out better for me because I was never that sore, you know, like instead of getting burnt out in practice, I just go out there and just rip, you know.
And was there any, I guess, any sort of pressure from the sponsors back then about,
I mean,
or any sort of like, you know, things that they were expecting?
I wouldn't say pressure. Really. I mean, there's obviously pressure with anything you do, but like, especially when I got on like the energy drink sponsors like Monster and because I did 6 years at Monster and then I was 6 years at Rockstar. Those companies really wanted you on the podium, you know, like at Dew Tour, like with, you know, with the Monster hat on or the Rockstar hat on, the water bottle. And, you know, it was very important to be on that podium because that's like TV time. And so I guess, you know, I wanted to stoke them out, but all my other sponsors were kind of just mellow, you know, just go out and rip. And I'm sure they want me to win or do it just didn't seem as like parent to me to like, okay, I got to do this. You know, I just did it because I loved it. And, you know, and just, I don't know. That's just how it all worked out, you know?
Yeah.
Winning those. Like I didn't go to Maloof. What I'm trying to say is like, I didn't go to Maloof Cup thinking, all right, I'm going tomorrow to win Maloof Cup. You know, I just showed up and just enjoyed skating and didn't overthink it and just skated as hard as I could and had fun at the end of the day, you know, and next thing you know, I'm in first place and, you know, looking back at it, it's just kind of all a blur, but that's just kind of how it all went down. Even Tampa, you know, like I won Tampa 3 times, but every time I won Tampa, I never overthought it, you know, and I didn't go there like the next day or like, oh, I'm going to win this. I'm going to try to get 3, you know, like some people say, oh, you're going to win 4 times. Like, I don't know. I didn't even think I was going to win 1, you know? And that just, to me, it just works that way. Some people really train like P-Rod, like he went there a week ahead of time to go to Tampa to practice, to get his rundown, to win it. And he did win it, you know? So some people can work like that. Just for me, it didn't. It never worked for me planning out things like that, or I would just overthink it. And then I would think too much about what everyone else is doing. And then I would switch up my run and then I'd end up falling, you know, instead of just going out there and skating, doing what I do best, you know?
Yeah, man. And with all that traveling and all those events, like looking back on it now, are there any that stand out?
Oh, they all do for sure. I mean, the Tampa contest is so legendary. And, you know, I was watching that back in 401, like that contest is the chorus of the course contests out there. So I'm very stoked to skate that one every year. Obviously, the Maloof contest was so new at the time, you know, like everyone was doing contests that were like wooden ramps and everything. And this one just came out like a full street plaza, all cement, like super gnarly, plaza style skateboarding, you know, like Rob Dyrdek was inspiring that. And he went off and ended up doing the street league that's around nowadays. But yeah, the Maloof back then was awesome. And then all the European contests were great too, traveling overseas and being able to go to all those different countries, Germany and Paris, France, and all those cool places.
And you had a pretty gnarly year at Simple Sessions, right? Like when you was that 2014? So like, if you could, would you mind telling us a bit more about that?
That was a blur because I got knocked out. I got hit pretty hard in practice, or I don't really remember the day. Okay, I forget what I qualified, but I definitely qualified first or second because I made it into the finals. And then because I skipped the semifinals, there was like prelims and semifinals and then finals. I skipped the semifinals, I think, because I qualified first. So I was right in the finals. And I went up one of the ramps, and a guy was coming over, and then I got knocked out, went to the hospital, I had a concussion, came back at like 4:00 for the finals. The first run I dropped in, I fell that first trick. I was like, man, I probably shouldn't be skating. And then the just in my mind, I was like, man, I flew all the way out here. Like, we're in Estonia, right? I'm like, I have to skate this. Like, there's no way I'm just going to sit down. So I just said, all right, let me just focus on one trick at a time. And that's exactly how I did it. It was like almost like a video game. And I got a concussion at the time. So I'm kind of like cloudy headed. I drop in. That's exactly what I did. One trick at a time, landed the whole run. And then next thing you know, I look up, I'm in first place. And I end up winning the simple sessions, that was crazy, but my head hurt too. I remember like winning, and I was like, this is cool and all, but like, I'm actually in some pain here, like I was confused and cloudy headed and just like, fuck, how did I even win that? So simple sessions, I mean, awesome. That's another contest that like, well, Estonia in general is a crazy place. It's really cool. I think it's one of the oldest cities in Europe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they were like the only comp last year, I think, to actually run with everything going on, because it's in February and winter, and then they've now for this year it's going to be in August, I think they're saying. But yeah,
it's like medieval times, like the town and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And then I didn't go last year, but I went the year before, and they actually had like an ice hockey little tournament thing, like the skaters versus the BMXers. I played in that. And then I skated too. And that course is gnarly. It's like the skating and the BMX are on the same course. So a lot of the ramps are just massive, it's nuts. So, and to win that, you kind of got to skate the whole course. You can't just skate like the little flat bars. Like, they want you hitting like the big bike jumps and hitting the big quarter pipes. And you kind of got to be like a really all around skateboarder to win that one,
And like when you got knocked out, I mean, is that the first time that's actually happened to you in competition, or have you had a few?
I've had a concussion before, but that was the worst. Like that one, like I went to the hospital, like I was out. Like, I mean, I got up, but I was out of it. I didn't even know really where I was at one point. That sucked.
Do you?
It's funny because I didn't even get hurt skating. I got hurt because I had my hood up and it was cold in the arena, and like I was just like looking down, going up the quarter pipe, and someone was coming up and over and just hit right into me, and I just bam hit the floor. I remember Sheckler like getting me up, like, dude, you all right? And then just like out of it, I stood to the side, and then they put me in the ambulance, went to the hospital, and they're like, yeah, you got a concussion, like pretty good one. I was like, all right, and then went back, and it was just like the contest was going on. I was like, whoa. The contest is going. Like, yeah, the finals are starting. I was like, well, fuck, I should probably skate. And I didn't even practice. Like, I didn't even practice. I don't even think I was sweating or anything when I did my run. Like, hoodie. I think did I have a hoodie on? I think I took off my hoodie and just like dropped it, like cold legs, the whole deal.
That's gnarly.
Yeah. It was
and
it was
I mean,
mind over matter, like it was full mind over matter.
Like skating for and being at that level for over 2 decades. I mean, you must have picked up some pretty quite a few injuries, right? I mean, how does it compare now to back then when you when you were a kid? Is it sort of something like almost you just get conditioned to it that you kind of had?
Yeah. Well, now I get sore so much quicker. Like my skating, like I can't skate as long. You know what I mean? Like I get sore way quicker. My injuries, if I get hurt, like they take a little longer to heal, for sure. Like I've been very lucky in my career. I've been like Danny Way has had a lot of injuries, right? Like I'm nothing like Danny Way. You know what I mean? Like, but I have definitely rolled my ankle. I did my collarbone. I hit my hip, my elbows, like broken toe, like that stuff. But luckily, knock on wood, I haven't had like major like knee surgeries or like Sheckler broke his ankles. Like, dude, that shit's crazy, like, so I've been very fortunate to not, be where I'm at and do the things I've done without having knee injuries and stuff. Very fortunate, because some of these skaters, they go through hell and back. I feel like lucky. I'm like blessed. Like, oh shit, man. Like I've been pretty lucky not to have crazy injuries like some of these other guys have had. But yeah, mainly I just get sore super quick, like super easy. I go skate for 2 hours, jump down something. The next day I feel like I got hit by a train, like I guess you just got to like do more stretching and more conditioning on your body. When you're young, you bounce right back,
Yeah.
Definitely now, if I go skate a contest, like I probably won't skate practice long at all. Might cruise the course, but I'll save it for the next day because I don't want to be sore. I want to put everything down when I'm on that course and it's time to actually like skate, I don't want to be sore from like the day before, And if I go skate tomorrow I will be sore, just so I don't skate every single day. I take days off.
But you also mix it up as well, right? So you'll go snowboarding, get on the motorbike and kind of
like when I first moved here, I just skate. Now I have my own online business with selling motorcycle parts, and I have my own signature items like signature seats and pipes. So some days like I'm out riding my Harley or doing orders on the website or shipping stuff out. Other days I'm filming skating. Other days I'm just going to enjoy myself and going to the mountains like I'm doing tomorrow, like just to get away and just do something cool that's outside of skating, So yeah, like every day is a little different, but I'm always running some kind of business, you know what I mean? Whether, cause I rent on properties and I have short-term rentals, so vacation rentals that I run. I have a place in the desert, so I run an Airbnb. So I'm always working with people, checking in, checking out, working with my cleaners, with my website, shipping out orders, processing orders, all that good stuff, So like it's so much more than just skate. And then on top of it, working with all my sponsors with skateboarding, making sure they're all stoked, making sure they got photos and videos for the content that they want to have for marketing wise. And social media is a freaking full-time job. Always doing something with that, tagging companies and things I'm doing. When I grew up skateboarding, like when we'd film almost, there was no social media. Like when the videos came out, they came out. You didn't really like nowadays. Every day there's content coming out because that's just what it is. The times have changed so much, and we're living in like a digital world, where everything.
Well, it was magazines, right? It was magazines and waiting for the videos to come out. And
and nowadays Instagram is a magazine. Like kids are flipping through that, watching Chris Jocelyn, like live, right at his house, like getting ready in the morning, like stretching and whatever he's doing. Or I'm just saying him as an example, but yeah, they watch their favorite pros like on the stories and then watch what they post. And it's so much more than what it was when, I first moved to California and filming for video parts and shooting for magazines,
How do you feel about social? Are you like,
it's cool. Yeah, no, I love it. Cause you get a chance to interact with your fans and stuff. It is a little bit of work because the phone's just always going nuts, because, people are commenting or people are writing you or asking questions, where can I get that skateboard or whatever it is, or, for me with motorcycle parts, asking, will this fit my bike? What's the difference between your pipe and this pipe? So you're always kind of like answering, but it's cool because, it stokes me out that I have fans that are stoked on my skating and the products that I built in the motorcycle industry are top of the line, some of the best. We have the most comfortable seats and one of the best performance pipe on the market, for Dynas. And that was just inspired by skating, what we did in skating, like how we created signature shoes and signature boards and made badass shapes with our skateboards and all that cool stuff. And had, ideas with graphics and all that cool stuff, so I just kind of transferred that into other areas of my life of other passions I have. But yeah, as far as social media, you're always answering. I feel like you're always
on, right?
Something. Yeah. You're always doing something on it, or you're always like, I don't know. It's just different than it was 10 years ago,
Yeah.
In a good way though. I think it's a good way. And then you get to see like, there's a lot of talent out there. You get to see talent from all over the world. And you can just watch it on your phone. Like I see new skateboarders all the time that I start following. I'm like, whoa, where's this kid live? Oh, he's in Barcelona. Like looking at his profile. Holy shit. Like it's cool.
That's cool.
It's like, how did we meet through social media,
Exactly.
Reached out. Here we are now on the Rad season show, so it's cool.
That's awesome. And like when you were like, I guess skating back then, were you like, did you have any interest on the business side kind of back then, or was that until you got older and you thought, okay, like, you know, like, because you were doing, like, you've been in a few movies as well as like doing skate parts. There's also been like commercials.
I think that, commercials,
and stuff
that
like that.
Just kind of came, opportunity just kind of came, you know, like one thing, like once I came out here, you know, I got introduced to being in the magazines and videos and being on these different skate teams and having that opportunity, then being in contests. And then from there, you know, I got opportunity to be in movies and commercials, which was really cool. And then I got a manager, and he got me on like bigger companies, like corporate companies like Oakley and Toyota and Monster, and started working in the corporate world a bit, you know. And then from there, I started like making money and investing. My neighbor, Ben, who he would buy rental properties in Arizona. So we started buying rental properties in Arizona. I started buying those. And then later on in life, next thing you know, like I get sponsored by Harley, get in the motorcycle business. And then now we start creating signature items in that world. And then next thing you know, like Airbnb and VRBO and vacation rentals is like big now, you know, because the apps and all that, like, that was never really a thing 8 years ago, you know. And then I'm like, all right, I want to like buy a vacation rental, you know, and rent it out. And then I have a place I can go, like the place I have in Palm Springs, in Indio, right outside of Palm Springs, actually. It's on a golf course. So I have a golf cart there and everything. And I go out there and just enjoy myself and check on my property and refill the toilet paper and make sure, you know, I have enough soap and all the stuff that people need when they go stay there. And then I work with my cleaners. So I'm always kind of working with them, and the place is booked like crazy. And then now I'm buying another one in Big Bear because I love going to the mountains. So I want to be able to go there and enjoy my property up there. But then when I'm not there, rent it out. So all that kind of just evolved. As I'll show you. Yeah. Like, look, it's crazy. It's just booked, you know? So these are like all my renters. So I actually have someone leaving today. So I had to work with my cleaners. Like I schedule them ahead of time, but I'm constantly updating them. Okay, I got this person leaving. I got this person coming in. And then when people go there, it's pretty. I have my house pretty set up nice, where it's you know, set up where they don't need to ask too many questions. But you always get questions. Where do we put the trash, or where do we do this, or where's the pool? You know, like certain things. You know. So it is a little bit of work, but at the end of the day, it pays for the mortgage, it pays for the property tax, you're making some money on top of it. And then you got a place to go enjoy. So, you know, just, I think investing just kind of came later on in life, for sure. Not when I first moved here, but when I started thinking, what do I want to do after skateboarding, you know? And then I had opportunity to invest into a restaurant. So I invested in a Sessions West Coast Deli, and we started with one location here in Irvine and Woodbridge. And we opened another one in Fashion Island, which is down on PCH. And now we're looking at opening 2 more locations. One's going to be at South Coast Plaza, and then another one's going to be in Mission Viejo. So like that's just expanding. And then I got into the stock market and doing all that stuff. So just like, I don't think any of it was
busy, man.
Oh, hell yeah. But it's cool. Like I got a lot of energy, so I constantly need to be doing something. Otherwise I just like get lost, you know? So it's kind of cool. Keeps me on track. But I think everything just kind of evolved. You know, it wasn't like I came out here thinking I was going to do all this stuff in skating, or, you know, it was never planned. None of this was planned. It's just kind of like, I guess, just stepping stones and just taking opportunity and, you know, being a yes man, you know, like the movie with Jim Carrey, Yes Man, I'm going to say yes to everything. Like having that kind of mentality, like open-minded and being like, okay, cool. I'll try out this movie thing. You know what I mean? Even though I had to be there at freaking 5:30 a.m. and they're putting makeup on my face, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? What am I getting myself into here? But next thing you know, like it was a massive movie, and Jonah Hill's in it, and Blake Lively's in it, and Lewis Black's in it, and all these different actors that are massive now. Like Jonah Hill, like when I watched him in Superbad, I'm like, holy shit, that's the dude I worked with. You know, like it's crazy. But you know, working on that movie was like, I don't know, I didn't grow up doing movies, you know, so like it was definitely a different experience than getting my SAG card and then doing commercials. And next, you know, me and Sheckler are doing an Axe commercial together. And then I do a T-Mobile commercial, just took opportunity, you know, and never really looked at it any other way. Just, I'll try it out, you know, and never really cared what people thought either. You know, like there's probably moves that people are like, dude, I can't believe he rode for Jose Cuervo or K-Swiss or whatever. I just took opportunity, you know, and I just always was open-minded about things. And I think that's what helped progress the success to be able to still sustain the lifestyle that I live out here in California, not living back in the Midwest at my parents' house. You know.
And when did the idea for Lutzka's Garage come? Because that was like 2019 when you guys launched that, right?
Yeah. That was, like I said. So we started making pipes. Like I started partnering with Bassani exhaust. So we made like a gnarly exhaust system that's one of the best on the market right now for dynas, for Harley Davidson dyna motorcycles. And people just want them. You know, we sold through so many of these things. And then I started the website just super small. We just sold the pipes. And then I started making seats with Saddlemen. And they're one of the best seat manufacturers, like gnarly, comfortable gel seats, like badass seats, right? And so we started adding those on the website. And then next, you know, people were like buying those, and then they were asking, well, where can I get like handlebars, and where can I get like helmets, you know? And then we just expanded it, you know? So now we have like over, I think it's like 30,000 products on the site, and orders come in every single day. Like before we were on this call, I was processing orders, you know? So yeah, just one thing went into the next, you know, next thing you know, I got like a full like motorcycle shop, you know, and it's cool. Like a lot of people will buy my pipe, and then they'll buy a helmet, and they'll buy different stuff for their bike, or they'll ask me what's on my bike. Like, oh, what bars are you rocking, or what risers are you rocking? Oh, I'm rocking the 10-inch Biltwell pullback bar or risers. Oh, I want those on my bike. Oh yeah, cool, man. We'll get you set up, you know. So it's really cool. And a lot of the guys that, I mean, you get all kinds of people, but a lot of people that do buy a lot of my signature products, I noticed they did skate growing up too. They followed my skate career. You got to figure I'm 35, 36. They're like around my age. They're probably married and have a bike, and they followed my skateboard career, and they're like, dude, this is cool. Like I'm buying a pipe. I remember buying your skateboard, you know, like 10 years ago or whatever, you know. It's kind of cool. Like they're like, you still skate? I'm like, yeah, dude, of course. Like, yeah, I still skate. It's like, and they follow like my bike stuff, but they don't even follow my skate stuff. I'm like, because I have a different Instagram for all my motorcycle stuff, which is Lutzka's Garage. So, you know, and then some of these guys, like they're like, dude, I remember your skates. I'm like, yeah, dude, I still skate. Then they want like a signed board, and then we don't sell skateboards on the website, but you know, sometimes I'll be like, yeah, dude, I'll hook you up. I'll sign them a skateboard and ship it out with the order. But we looked into carrying skateboards on the website because a lot of people do want to, whether they're still skating or they're not, they want to hang the like artwork, you know, like skateboards in the garage, kind of like this, you know. So I'm sure they would do really well. So who knows? We might be expanding into having boards on our website as well.
And would you say like this past year, like with everything going on with the pandemic, is it like orders and things, it's just gone crazy and people kind of getting outside, sort of like skating, right? I mean, with like more people skating and.
Yeah, I think with this whole pandemic, it's just crazy. I mean, life is a lot different, but the motorcycle world definitely gone crazy. Like a lot of products are sold out. A lot of people are on their bikes. The skating world's crazy too. Like I think shops were like sold out of a lot of wheels and stuff because everyone wants to be outside and be active, I guess, staying 6 feet away from each other. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, and then other people it really affected. Like it's just terrible, losing their jobs and getting sick, and even like guys like Mark Waters that was in the skate industry, like he passed away from COVID. So it is a serious thing, you know, and I think things are getting more back to normal now with the vaccine. I'm not vaccinated or anything, but I got COVID, and it, you know, my body fought it, and it wasn't too bad for me, but other people can affect very differently. And it's terrible, you know, it's a terrible thing. So I'm just glad to see everything getting more back to normal now. It's been a crazy year, I think, for a lot of people. And I just try to keep my head straight and just keep, you know, moving forward and staying focused on my goals and what keeping me alive and having fun and staying sane, you know, staying on my board and going snowboarding and having fun with my friends and, you know, expanding my business and staying focused.
And what's motivating you now? What, like, are there any kind of new projects on the horizon, or?
Yeah, actually I'm working on a new barracks banging part. So like me and Chase have been working on that, and I actually incorporated my motorcycle on that too. Like I do some tricks off the 12 stair over my Harley and stuff, which is pretty cool. So I'm working on that right now, and then we're always working on new graphics at Dark Star with our boards and new shoes with DBS, and working with different companies, just always expanding and thinking outside the box, how to, progress my skateboarding and my career and, stay healthy and stay having fun,
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And what's the best way if people want to reach out to you? Would you say Instagram, like if they want to get in contact? And
I would say everyone's on Instagram nowadays. So yeah, Instagram is one of the ways I think that a lot of people are communicating nowadays. I feel like yeah, Instagram it's just my name, Greg Lutzka. We do have a website, greglutzka.com, and then obviously with the Harley stuff and all the motorcycle stuff, for those that are interested, it's lutzkasgarage.com, and the Instagram's Lutzka's Garage, and we are on LinkedIn and Facebook and even Twitter still. I don't know how many people still use Twitter, but yeah, all the social media platforms.
Awesome. Cool, man. Well, it's been epic having you on the show. Yeah, well, I hope you get some good snow tomorrow. You're heading off, right?
Yeah, it snowed out here. I mean, my hip's still a little bruised, but the season's so short out here for snowboarding, and like I grew up in the Midwest where it's always snowing and stuff. So like being in California, I miss it at times. It's crazy to say that, but I miss the snow. So when it's snowing here, I'm like, I got to take this opportunity. Even though my hip's all swollen and, I'm going to Chiral Therapy after this, I'm good to walk. I can get on my board and rip down the mountain.
You can put some gel on and just ice it, right? And then
yeah, exactly. So the snow looked good though. Like they just got a bunch 2 days ago. So we're excited to get up there and snowboard before the weekend. I like going up there during the weekdays where it's not all busy and crazy lines and stuff. So tomorrow should be really fun.
Awesome. And
then we should be skating back in. I'd give it like a week. I'll be back in the streets ripping and on to my next. Hopefully not getting hurt, but on to my next filming and doing all that stuff.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Greg. It was awesome chatting to you.
Thank you for having us. I really appreciate it.
Cheers.
All right.